And they did make some additions. You bring in like some capable veterans. You draft Darius Robinson, who, I think is more of like a 3-tech type.
That's Mina Kimes, ESPN personality on her podcast, just kind of sharing why she's having a hard time being optimistic about the Cardinals' defense in 2024. And let's get down to the heart of it. That's where, when people look at this team, what the expectations are, most of the doubt is on that side of the football. And it was rough last year at times, even though when you peer through the statistics and the rankings and all of those things, that everything indicated this is a bad defense. The eyeball test told you something different. Nick Rawlis, I think, was dealt a ridiculously difficult hand in his first year as defensive coordinator.
Yep.
From a lack of personnel to begin with, you called it the underfunded defense.
It was.
All year long. Mm-hmm. And not only was it underfunded, but the amount of injuries to key players like Kaiser White, LJ Collier was out from the beginning of the season. The defensive line was a rotation very early on from players that weren't with the Cardinals to start the year. The cornerback position, banged up everywhere. So I get it's logical to say you've got doubts about the Cardinals defense. But I don't have as much difficulty being optimistic because of what Nick Rawlis did, and there are pieces. Now, there is a lack of impact players on that side of the ball, and most people will look at it and say, if you don't have impact players, you're not going to have an impact as a unit. So I get it, but I don't expect the defense to be nearly as generous as it was last year.
Well, I hope not. Again, they've redone the defensive line to Monty Ossenfort's liking. We already know the leadership of Kaiser White and what that means. I think the cornerback room might be in better shape than we anticipated. Even though that might be a real low bar.
Yeah, but this is a year we just had him on the show. This could be a breakout year for Garrett Williams. Well, he is certainly a breakout candidate.
There are a lot of people who look at Garrett Williams and say that this dude is ridiculously talented, and there was so much talk about where the Cardinals going to find CB2, their second quarterback opposite Sean Murphy-Bunting, and there's people like, he's already in the building. He's been in the building. Mm-hmm. It's Garrett Williams. So that is possible. And if that kid pops and then Max Milton turns out to be a monster in the slot, then maybe this defense is going to be better. But again, it gets down to the high end players and what they mean to a defense. Are they going to have guys who can make big plays in the fourth quarter to stop big drives? That seemed to be a frustrating point last year watching this defense, that even when the offense was game in a lot of those games, the defense, when it mattered, just had a hard time getting the other team off.
Yeah, they have a lot of solid people, but where does that put your ceiling when you have a lot of solid players? Does it put it at just mediocre? Because you're right, when you need that big sack, when you need a big turnover, do they have players that can make those plays? Because they don't have a lot of guys that force turnovers, and they don't have a lot of guys that get sacks.
Yeah. Speaking of sacks, Kaiser White, who's back and healthy after missing a good chunk of last season with that bicep injury, he was on with Burns and Gambo yesterday, and they asked him, hey, who do you think is going to lead the team in sacks?
With BJ being down?
With BJ being down, who you got?
And Mac playing edge?
You got Mac, you got Darius, you got Gardeck, you got all those options. You got Zabin. Who's your guy? Who's going to lead the team in sacks?
If Mac get enough rushes, I'm going to go with my dog Mac. But if not, I like Dennis Gardeck. He led the team in sacks last year.
See, I was going Darius. I was thinking he's going to get some opportunities.
Yeah, he going to be a problem. But if Mac is that stack backer and not playing edge, I like Dennis.
You like Mac to lead the team in sacks?
If he's playing enough reps.
If he's playing that spot.
If not, I like Dennis.
All right, so Kaiser White's going with the guy. We haven't talked a ton about Mac Wilson Sr. on this show. Gambo's obviously going with Darius. Darius Robinson has been one of the talks of training camp so far in his rookie season. The lineman out of Missouri, first-round pick. Here was Nick Rawlis, defensive coordinator, talking about him.
He's doing a really good job. Another rookie that is extremely intelligent. So the transition's very smooth. He's doing a great job of studying extra. He puts in a lot of time, and is a sponge right now and soaking it all up. And so he's doing a really good job. He plays the way we want to play with high motor, and I want to see him play violent, coming up here, and he's doing a great job.
I mean, Gardeck's the safe pick to lead him in sacks, right?
I think so.
He's the closest thing to a proven commodity at pass rusher at this level.
And again, his numbers last year, you have to see them to believe them.
Mm-hmm.
His success rate at pressuring the passer relative to his snaps was among the best in the NFL. And you read that and you go, oh, come on. But it's true.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Now, maybe there are a lot of people who continue to underrate and sort of underestimate Dennis Gardeck. Either way, the Cardinals are going to need him to be that guy again, it appears. So, again, it is my one concern for this team. I'm very, very optimistic about what this offense might look like, for good reason.
Yeah. But, hey, does the offense have the ability to just outscore other teams and make things easier on the defense? Might turn out to that. There's people that are saying there's going to be a lot of shootouts in Arizona Cardinal games this year. So we shall see.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.